Hello, Pisces, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 13th through the 19th, and during that time, we will have a full moon on the 13th, and that could be a time of heightened emotions and maybe feeling a little overwhelmed and anxious. Can also be a little snappy and irritable, so just watch out. That's kind of a gift for us to learn how to practice patience and calm. So keep that in mind. We then will move into the waning gibbous energy, and that's a really good time for self-reflection and rebirth. Kind of look around. You get rid of some negative, thoughts and attitudes, maybe habits, and just buckle down and get some things accomplished. So keep those moon energies in mind as you're moving through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Pisces. So, of course, please keep that in mind and take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, Pisces, your overall message for this card or for this reading work through your fears. All right, let's see what kind of fears you guys are working through this week. And Pisces, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all I ask in return is that you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel. It's super, super easy for you to do. So I'll give you just a moment to do that right now. Thank you so much. And if you have been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community. I'm starting to recognize repeating faces. So thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate your time with me. All right, Pisces, April 13th through 19th, work through your fears. All right, your overall message card and present energy is our Nine of Wands here. So you're kind of looking back on some things right now that have gone on in your past. And, we call this our wounded warrior. So, you're thinking about the things that you've encountered and what you've been through. And there may be a reason for that. Maybe you're thinking about, planning for the future. You're just kind of being a little reflective, um, just reflecting back on your past a little bit this week. Your current situation is maybe because you're moving forward, but you're moving forward in very calm waters here with the Six of Swords. And I see that the wands here are wands. The swords are air energy. This is kind of your thoughts and ideas, and you're moving through this very calm water to kind of new ideas and new ways of being, new ways of thinking. Never a bad thing as you're learning from your past there. At the root of your situation is a Three of Swords. So a little bit of a broken heart. This can be, this doesn't even have to be, it's kind of like thoughts. Again, this is air energy when it comes to swords. And so, maybe something you overheard and it just kind of hurt your feelings a little bit. And you're just kind of nursing those kind of things. And it could have been the catalyst here to be thinking about the past and kind of having new thoughts in the future. So something to think about in your recent past here is that you've just come out of an area where you've had a lot of choices and a lot of maybe you've been making a lot of choices too. And that can be a little bit chaotic. So it might be leading you to be a little more introspective here with these, thinking about your past, thinking about your future, and thinking about something that was a little bit of a heartbreak. It could be something that didn't quite go your way, and maybe you're thinking about how to change that for your future. On your mind this week is, here we go again, thinking about the future with the Two of Wands. So this is kind of you deciding, do I want to stay where I am, or is it time to reach out and do something a little bigger, a little different? So again, your overall message card here was work through. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the camera. Work through your fears. There may be some fears about the choices that you've made in the past, um, and moving towards the future, but you're just going to have to work through those things. Life can be a little bit scary, but y'all get through it. What's the worst thing that can happen, really? And usually when you think that, that's not the thing that's going to happen, right? What is just ahead of you is the Empress. So this is interesting. This is our card of creativity, and it's also our card of birth and fertility. So for some of you, this may be that you are thinking of maybe adding, maybe having a baby, maybe adding to your family. It could be that it doesn't, even though that she is our card of pregnancy, but it's about the ultimate creativity, which is, how do you want to create the life that's in front of you? And this pregnancy could be not about giving birth to a baby, but giving birth to a way of living. Maybe you're just deciding, you're thinking about your past and your future, and do we want to stay where we're just physically? Do you want to stay where you are? Is it time to move somewhere? When it comes to maybe your job, is it time to stay where you are? Is it time to go bigger? And those are things you're kind of evaluating. And again, that could be this broken heart that you're kind of nursing, and it's causing these thoughts to come to mind this week for you. And I just see you just mulling a lot of things over this week. In your advice position is the Page of Swords. So this is kind of a new path. This is a new path, a new idea that maybe you're having. Um, and because it's in your advice position, I'm going to say take the time to really flesh that out and think of it. This may be a thought that's never occurred to you before. And it's like, oh, we can live in this way. We can do this thing. It's some new little idea. And it may seem like a juvenile idea. And I just mean that kind of a youthful idea. And that you would think, is that immature of me to think that way? So, but because it's in your advice position, I'm going to say flesh this thought out, like really think about it and think if that's something that you can do, because it's coming up in that position there. What is beyond your control this week would be the Knight of Cups. So this is definitely taking action in an area that you love. So, and it could be this thought here that you're in love with. You're thinking about the future all over the rest of this reading. So, if this is something that seems kind of immature or juvenile, again, think it through, and it may be something that you do end up loving. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid is some little bit of disruption here. This could be arguments here with the Five of Wands. This could be, this can be argument, but it can also just be healthy debate. I don't always see this as being like, really throwing down and having the big argument, but you're definitely discussing thoughts and ideas. And it could be this one here with this Page of Swords. So, and that is because it's in your secret desire. I don't think anyone desires to have debate or argument, but it could be that you're trying to avoid that, and you need to ask yourself why, and maybe those are conversations and debates that you need to be having, because you're really just considering things again with your past and future. In your outcome position is, yeah, a little bit of rest and meditation as you think through this, and look at all the swords, lots of swords and wands in this reading. I don't see anything, there's not one pentacle on the table. This is all about passion. This is about feelings, and this is about thoughts, and it's not about your material world. And this could just be, again, we're talking about working through your fears. It could be that you're just kind of looking around at life and saying, is it going the way I want it to go, on an intellectual level, on an emotion level, on a passion level? Am I really feeling into the way that my life is evolving? And do I want to make little changes? Am I going to debate those changes or not? Are we going to argue about those things or not? Are we going to discuss those things in a mature manner or not? And again, you might be having this kind of immature thought that's like, what if we did this thing? And it seems like an immature idea. I'm not sure. I'm trying to even think of an example of what that might be. That's something that would be immature, but it might be the kind of fun that needs to be injected into your life, that it seems immature, but it's like, oh, it's actually a really good idea. So what is hidden from you this week is, okay, Six of Wands. So this is kind of the feeling of accomplishment and a little bit of celebration and how other people view you. So that's hidden from you this week, and who cares what other people are thinking? I feel like a lot of this is it's very internal, although let's see here if I have any other repeating. There's a couple of threes here. I would say maybe go look up angel number 33, see if that means anything to you, Pisces. That might be of some help to you this week. But your outcome is, think about this stuff, rest, meditate. And those are swords, that's air energy. That is, you're just really really contemplating things this week. And that's fine. But work through those things and work through your fears with your thoughts. And if that means taking those thoughts to paper, pros and cons, those kinds of lists, you can still do that. All right, let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Pisces. Begin to explore. And again, that could be this page of swords here, this thing that feels like it might be immature, but it's in your advice position, so might seem immature, but flesh it out and think about it and be open to love, which is always great advice. So, Pisces, whatever you're in deep thought about this week, I wish you the best of luck with it. Looks like you're just trying to, you're questioning just the direction of your life. Where are you headed? And that's okay. We all do that. Everybody needs to do that occasionally. And that's going to be that kind of week for you this week. So I really appreciate your time here with me today. And I do hope there's something that you can take away and use and take into your life and really use to think about that kind of advances where you are right now. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I guess. So I do weekly readings. So come back next week and we'll see if this energy evolves or if there's something completely new and fresh here for you. I feel like this is just one of those really contemplative weeks for you that not a lot of activity, not a lot of change, but there's just some thoughts and things that are coming up that you're having. So go ahead and indulge in that and rest and meditate and think about them. But again, I do post weekly readings. Come back next week and we'll see if what's here for you then. Also, I will say again, if you like my reading style, please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel, and I really, really appreciate that from you. And most importantly, it'll help you find me next week. So, Pisces, thank you so much for being here with me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.